Oh yeah, thanks you guys. I appreciate you taking the time to have me on here.
I think it's pretty cool what you guys are doing.
Very good questions and what a lot of research.
This is cool.
Yeah.
This is awesome.
Thank you for having me.
I really appreciate you guys asking me to be a part of this.
That was too cool, bro. And I was between shifts. I'm between shifts right now. I think I'm gonna be between shifts the rest of my life.
What's up, friends of the show, and welcome back to the Between Shifts podcast. Today we have a guest that we've wanted to have on for a long time. And though you might not recognize her walking down the street, you surely will recognize the way she transforms walls into historical figures. Half Moon Bay, Pacifica, Colma, Daly City, and Placerville have all been lucky to work with this young artist. Please welcome to the podcast our guest, Julie Engelmann.
Thank you for having me.
Thanks for coming on.
Yeah.
It got a little dicey there towards the end.
You're fine.
Can't miss the mural at the IDES Hall.
Or Cunya's.
Now you get to see the lady behind it.
Yeah. Welcome on. Awesome. So where were you born and what was it like growing up there?
I was originally born in Pennsylvania, Lancaster, Pennsylvania, which is actually like an Amish country.
Yeah.
And I don't remember it because my mom moved out to the Bay Area when I was like 2 years old. But I just remember she was telling me stories of like how when she would try to drive to the grocery store, she'd get stuck behind like a horse and buggy, and it would be like an hour trip just to get to the grocery store. She'd be like stuck behind just like this really slow like horse and like this Amish person driving a buggy. Anywhere she would go, like if she would try to drop me off at school or, you know, or not school because I was like 2 years old, but just anywhere to work or, you know, the grocery store, it'd be like an hour drive like there and back. So
You got Amish people just go around.
yeah, I know. Yeah, just go.
Did you guys, well, you might not remember, but did you guys ever have any Amish work on the house or anything?
Oh, I probably. I don't know. I don't remember.
I feel like that'd be so fun to have an Amish person come work on your house.
Yeah, he's like, you have to work on the electricity.
You're like,
They also have the weirdest town names around Lancaster. Like that whole county, they have the weirdest names for cities.
Really?
Yeah.
I don't even know that.
I'm not familiar with the area, to be honest. Yeah.
Harrisburg is the capital of Pennsylvania. It's right by it, dude.
There you go.
Learn some
Capital man Ian.
geography.
Only thing I know about Pennsylvania, well, obviously it's a state. Boom.
Nice.
But there's a big old like abandoned quarry over there that all the cliff jumpers go to, and it looks like it's actually in Amish country because all the videos like go through Amish country, then all of a sudden they're just jumping off of like 112-foot cliffs.
Damn.
They're like, whoa, yeah.
That's so interesting.
That's the only thing I can associate with Pennsylvania.
That's wild.
Yeah,
It's probably the coolest part of the area.
Probably.
it sounds pretty cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So did you move to the Bay Area? Where did you grow up in the Bay?
In San Mateo, like the
Okay.
Highlands. Yeah, just over 92, like
Nice.
right there, like on Bunker Hill.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then did you play any organized sports as a kid?
I was always into water sports. So I did swimming and a little bit of water polo in high school, but mostly on the swim team. Like I did that like before high school and like through high school. But I was really notorious for like missing swim practice because I would also surf too. So I would always like miss swimming to go surfing.
I'm still practicing.
Yeah, exactly. And I would always feel so bad missing swim practice. And my coach would always scold me for like missing practice. You need to go. And I would go to like 2-3 times a week. And you should have been practicing like 5 days a week. But I would practice like 2 to 3 times a week just because I would like always want to like do other things like surfing, which I'm glad I did because I still surf today.
And do you get that from your dad, the surfing?
Yeah. So my dad surfs, and that's kind of how he turned me on to surfing from a young age. And yeah, it's actually like, I don't even know how it like surfing stuck with me because he was kind of like learning while my brothers and I were also learning how to surf. So he would take us out on these boards and he would just like leave us like, on the inside, like floundering around.
While he went out?
Yeah, well, he went out like, oh, every man for himself. And he would just like paddle out and like leave us. And we're on like these 9-foot like soft tops, like little kids just like floating around.
Learning how to turtle dive.
Yeah, exactly. And just like learning the hard way, literally. And every surf session that we would have with my dad, it would always end up like us like on the beach just like crying. And my mom would always come like with hot chocolates trying to like save the day. And yeah, so my brothers don't surf. I don't know, it just like stuck with me. I think I just really like being in the ocean and being in water. And yeah, but it was kind of traumatic.
Well, you and your dad, the whole family probably all learned how to surf at the same time because there probably wasn't any surfing in Pennsylvania. I'd assume.
Oh, absolutely. No, we all learned at the same time.
That's another thing I know about Pennsylvania.
No surf.
No surf.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah.
Cliff diving, no surf.
Yeah. All fresh bodies of water.
Yeah.
Well, obviously you're an artist, but do you remember the first time that you started experimenting with art?
I don't really remember like specifically the number one, like the first time I experimented with art. I just remember always being a creative kid and always just doing drawing, doodling, like super into colors and all like those big packs of crayons. I loved those. And I was like really into just anything creative, like even making like beaded necklaces or Legos. I was really into Legos too. And yeah, and I was just like always like an art kid and exploring like different creative things. I was really into like Bionicles too. Do you guys remember those?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, just anything that was like working with my hands and being creative, I was just really, really into.
So you probably had the best hand turkeys in elementary.
Oh yeah, the best hand turkey. The standout hand turkey.
Yeah.
Have you, sorry, this is kind of a side note, but have you done a mural at school?
At school?
At a school?
No. Oh, I did one at a high school recently.
Nice.
Yeah.
Because I was going to ask if you remember seeing murals when you'd be in school, like on a campus or something.
Yeah, I don't know. I feel like murals are really starting to become more a thing now. Mm-hmm. And I think before when I was like a kid, murals were kind of associated with like graffiti and like vandalism. Mm-hmm. And now it's like moving in this new direction of public art, and it's becoming more of like a thing, and people are creating like careers out of it. But it was definitely not as popular as it is today when we were kids.
Well, it's funny because you drive down Highway 1 right as you get past the shop, and you look to your right and you see like Hatch has a big mural on the backside of the middle building. But then you look to your left and Cunha's just bare. And it's like, well, now that looks kind of funny because like you're saying, like murals are kind of becoming bigger and bigger. Yeah. So Cunha, hit her up. Come on.
Yeah, let's do it.
Do something about that. But so back to the questions. You've mentioned growing up in a spiritual home with a pastor mom and a shrink dad. How did that environment shape the way you see the world and express yourself through art? And also, I feel like it's such a slur to say shrink. Every time I say it, I'm like, that feels like I can't say that.
I feel a little bit when you say
it. It's like a slang word or something.
Yeah.
No, that was probably the most influential thing I think in my life that's applied to my art was having like this really spiritual home, and we would have a lot of like deep conversations at dinner, like about spirituality and like philosophy and like the meaning of life and kind of just like our human experiences. And I think I think artwork is spiritual too, in a way, because it kind of gets your mind out of this reality and kind of just explores just different creative ways or just imaginative other worlds. That's kind of like the spiritual world. So yeah, it's just kind of like, I think what both the spirituality and art tap into is like this gray area that doesn't really have like a definition or like, and I think everybody can kind of connect to something spiritual in their own way, whether if it's through religion or just anything, just being like on your bikes or just like in the ocean. I think like everybody can connect to something spiritual. And I think that art is very similar in that way, where it's just like this like emotional experience, kind of like when you see like a beautiful sunset and you're like, wow, that's beautiful. I feel like that to me is like a spiritual experience. Like, where does that come from? That feeling of this is beautiful, like this awesome, this like eye-opening, like, wow, that's so beautiful. You see the Grand Canyon, you're like, wow, that's amazing. There's like something like so much bigger in this world. And I feel like art kind of taps into that same type of like different way of looking at the world in a way, and reflects beauty and a story and just like just something different that kind of gets you out of like this like mundane like logical thinking and it's very like right brain versus left brain. Like left brain's all logical thinking, and then right brain's like bigger and more emotional and more creative thinking. So I just think that I was like grown up in this kind of environment that really fostered that way of thinking.
Yeah, and you obviously do a really good job of translating that piece of thinking into your artwork. Like you're able to kind of take that feeling, like you're talking about with the sunset, take that sunset's feeling where you're like, wow, that's so beautiful, and be like, how can I have that feeling in my mural or that's this piece of art? And then you do it, and then everybody else looks at it, and you're like, yeah, that's the feeling I was looking for. It's pretty cool.
Like almost something that doesn't feel real, but it is.
Yeah.
Like you look at that mural on the IDS hall, and you're like, whoa.
Yeah.
It just pops out of nowhere on Main Street, and you're like, whoa.
Yeah. And that's why I love working a little bit with the abstract too. Like I really do love like surrealism where there's some realistic elements into it, but it's also a little bit abstract to kind of just like push like the bounds of like what is possible, what is real. And and I think just that's what's so cool about art is that like especially abstract art, like a lot of people don't understand abstract art, but I think it's just something that like messes with your head just a little bit, that it's kind of like what you think isn't all, like there's more, like just try to like look past like what you've been like taught your whole life, like there's just like more to it. So that's why like I'm do what I do and I love it.
That's
for
really
sure.
cool.
Yeah.
Is your mom a pastor in an Episcopalian church?
Presbyterian.
Presbyterian, okay.
Yeah.
And has she been a pastor for as long as you could remember, or?
Yeah, she's been a pastor like my whole life. She recently quit being a pastor just because it got like weird. Like the church is like political too in its like own weird way. Yeah. And she was kind of like, I want to do something different for like until I retire. And she's been like a chaplain at the VA. So she'll go and talk with veterans and kind of like be a moral guide to them and like pray with them and just kind of be like a spiritual support system for them.
Super cool.
Yeah.
Well, how was growing up in San Mateo, and how many times a week would you come to the coast?
Yeah. I mean, I'm just kind of like a regular, growing up there is just kind of standard. Grew up in the suburbs. And
did you go to Hillsdale, Ohio?
Aragon.
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
And nice. We would come over quite a bit just because my dad was so obsessed with, like, he wanted to just be in the water all the time. And he would be a boogie boarder. He was a boogie boarder for a while, and he would literally be like in the ocean every single day at the jetty, every single day. And then he eventually like onto surfing, tried to get us into surfing. And I remember when he got like his first van here, like at the dealership, the guy who sold him his van gave him a deal because he's like, "Oh my God, you're the guy on the boogie board." They got him like a discount. It's like the guy on the boogie board that would just be there every single day. and we just like love the ocean and being around nature. And my mom would sometimes like take us like on the rocks on the jetty, and like I don't know if this was like legal, but she would like take like raw chicken wings and like tie a string onto them and then drop them in the rocks as we would be walking down the rocks. And then as we would walk back, she would like pick them up and pull out these like massive like dinner plate sized crabs.
Yeah.
It was just fun.
We used to do that with hot dogs. We'd cut up hot dogs in the harbor and tie them to like just anything that could tie a knot around it.
Yeah. And
then you'd drop them into the rocks and you could pull out. It was just the little crabs though. From the harbor.
Really?
We never did it at the jetty.
Yeah, try chicken wings.
Yeah. Yeah. So were most of your trips from San Mateo out to the coast in Half Moon Bay, or kind of 50-50 between Half Moon Bay and Pacifica?
I think it was more Half Moon Bay because we were just like we literally lived like right over 92, like right as you just, like the Bunker Hill, like that exit, we're like right there. So I think it was just easier to get to Half Moon Bay. But then when my dad got more into surfing, he wanted to go to like Lindemar and like try different places. And so it was kind of branched more into Pacifica, but it was just kind of both of those spots all the time.
Yeah. Well, we've talked about how your mom has been a pastor for as long as you can remember. And now what's your dad do?
He's a shrink.
He's a shrink.
Yeah.
That's right. And that's okay to say that.
Yes.
Your dad's a shrink, but can we go into a little bit about your dad before he became a shrink? And what was it like witnessing your dad's transition from drug and alcohol addiction to being clean and sober? Now he's a shrink. And what did that just teach you about life at that young age?
Yeah.
Seeing all that.
Yeah, so I think that's why he is such a good counselor, shrink, or whatever you want to call him, is because he like went through a lot of addiction himself, and I think that really helped his practice is because he can really counsel and help other people who are going through like the same thing because he went through it. He can empathize. He knows exactly what they're feeling. He knows exactly what they're going through. He's not like this like, oh, I'm educated, I have all these PhDs, blah, 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 I'm going to like kind of talk down to you. He's like super authentic and just really like down to earth guy.
He's been through the mud.
He's been through the mud. He's out on the other side and he's just trying to do what he can to help people. So
is he a therapist or does he help people with like exactly that, like transitioning from a drug and alcohol problem to being sober?
He does like a range of, I think he just helps people in all sorts. I mean, he's like, he went to like school to help people like through any problems. And I think he does do a lot of like addiction. I don't know exactly like what kind of clients he like takes on specifically. I think he takes on like a range of people. But I know that that's definitely like helped him his past. And I think like for me growing up, that's just helped me really value authenticity in people and just like being real and just like none of us like have it all together. And I think one of my biggest pet peeves is when someone comes across like really fake to me and just like think that they have it all together and they're just like, I think that's more of a thing in like girl culture, more of like this like fake facade thing. But I just think that I've always really valued like authenticity, and I think it's because of like what our family like went through and what my dad went through, and how he came through that and just came to the other side and just really like being like, yeah, like I and I think like the number one thing in like AA is to just admit that you have a problem. I think that's the number one thing, and just being authentic, and it's just a big value in my family.
Yeah, I was gonna say like I'm starting. The older I get and the more people I talk to that had a problem in the past, they are like the most honest people I think I've ever met.
Yeah.
Obviously not going to say names, but I was playing golf with somebody and it was just like, I was like, oh, you don't drink? Because I don't know, like before golf, we did like fireball shot or something.
Yeah.
He's like, oh no, I don't drink. So I started talking to him and he's like, yeah, I was just a piece of shit to like my family. And I was able to realize that. And I was like, holy fuck. All right. Yeah. That's, like super honest. And I was like, damn. Wasn't expecting that. But
the first part of stopping is admitting.
Yeah, seriously.
Yeah. Did your dad take on that career after becoming sober and dealing with his own issues, or was it something that he was doing beforehand?
He was doing it like during his schooling, and he was like an intern at this psychiatric hospital while he was like struggling with drug and alcohol addiction. And I think he was actually like taking meds from the psychiatric hospital and just, So it's like pretty bad during the time. Yeah. But I think it definitely like inspired him to like tweak his career in like a different direction.
Yeah. And if you don't mind me asking, but like growing up seeing that, and if you don't want to answer this, we can just cut it out, but growing up and seeing that, how was it for you when you got to the age of when you kind of started to like party and do that sort of thing? Like, was that kind of hard for you to be like, well, I don't know if I should drink because I've seen my dad like this, blah, blah, blah. Was that?
Yeah, absolutely.
Transition? Yeah,
it was definitely an uncomfortable transition because I grew up like in a dry house. Like we didn't have any alcohol. Like my mom doesn't drink either, just to like support my dad. Mm-hmm. And so, like getting out of the house and living my own life and, stepping into the real world where like everybody drinks all the time. It was definitely a lot getting used to. I think that it just took a while. I'm like, okay, like it's okay. It's okay to have like a little drink here, a little drink there, but don't drink too much. And then sometimes I would drink too much, and then I would be like, okay. And then I was just like, it's just growing up, like just getting used to it and figuring it all out. And I'm at a good place now.
No, that's good. I've always wondered that. Like, what is just that? What's it like?
What's the mindset of seeing it
Because
firsthand?
I feel like there's obviously a scar there. So you have to kind of work through that wound to be able to just kind of experience it like a normal person, I guess.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
I wonder, was it hard for your dad, do you think, when you guys moved out here? Because I'm assuming you don't have family in this area, right? Was it hard for him to have like a a source of like someone to talk to?
Yeah, well, he lives in San Mateo still, so it's not too far. And my older brother moved to Washington, so I think that's like the biggest like hit, I guess, like him moving away all the way to Washington. But yeah, both my younger brother and me are in the Bay Area, so it's not too far.
That's good.
Yeah.
All right. Well, changing gears a little bit, you've mentioned that you were an artistic kid. What kind of creative things drew you into being in this career? And do you remember, like, at a young age, something clicking in your head to, like, push you towards this career?
Yeah. I mean, I was just always an art kid growing up, and I loved art. And I went to this really creative elementary school, like from, I think it was like 1st to 4th grade. But it was just like the kind of school that would be like, oh, come to class with no shoes on. And it was kind of like hippie and really out of the box thinking. And we never were assigned homework. And they really believed that like play and creativity and like creating things with your hands was like a form of education for kids. Really cool school. And I think that really inspired me so much and really formed me to pursue the career that I have today. It's like been really influential to me. And it was crazy too, because recently I just realized that Steve Jobs' daughter was like in my class.
Oh, what?
Yeah, in my like 4th grade class. And we were like friends, and I had no idea.
That's cool.
And I would like go to her house and everything. And it was just like, I was in like Steve Jobs' house. I didn't know because I was like a kid, I didn't think that it was like anything special.
Did your parents know though?
And my parents knew.
That's pretty cool. Your parents probably like,
yeah.
What's the next iPhone?
Julie's hanging out with Eve Jobs again. Yeah.
But yeah, and I remember like going on a field trip to Pixar, and our tour guide was Steve Jobs.
Oh,
and I didn't even like know. I was just like, oh, it's like Aaron's dad.
Yeah.
Like, whatever. But
really skinny guy. He's kind of weird.
Yeah.
But so was that school? What is that school still around?
Yeah, it's called Peninsula School. It's in Menlo Park. Or
Okay.
Palo Alto, sorry.
Palo Alto. Okay.
Yeah.
Cool. I thought you were going to say it was a, what are they, Waldorf? Or how do you say it?
Waldorf Astoria.
Waldorf
Astoria.
Waldorf, something like that.
Yeah, Waldorf Astoria. I think it's in San Francisco.
San Francisco, Sebastopol.
Yeah.
I think Paso Robles has one, but it's kind of similar to that. It's like working with your hands, and it's like pretty hippie.
Yeah.
Probably more hippie than what your school was, honestly. It's like, yeah, no, it's a cool school though.
Yeah.
Palo Alto's kind of a wild place for like a school like that, I feel like.
Yeah, no, seriously.
Barefoot in the Silicon Valley.
But it kind of shows you like, okay, well, the like really, now Atherton and Palo Alto are obviously really wealthy areas, but it's like these geniuses in the world want their kids to learn how to work with their hands before learning this agenda that you're taught in school now. So it's like, what's happening there?
And like, how was that transition when you're going from, like the super creative, nurturing elementary school, and then like the rest of your education is essentially just turns into like rigid schoolwork?
Yeah. I think that's like such a problem with like so many public school systems. There's just school systems in general. It's just like so rigid, and it like puts you like in a box, and it's like, yeah, it's teaching you things, but it's also like limiting and like cutting out so much other potential for like other things to happen and to foster and to grow into like cool things. And I think that's the value that my parents saw in like sending me to Peninsula, was like, oh, we're gonna like, there's more to it. But yeah, like when I went into high school, I totally just dismissed like art. Like, oh, that's an elective class. Like what I should focus on is like these AP classes and trying to like...
Try to get the above 4.0.
Yeah, exactly. And just competing with everybody. And it was just like... so not me, but I definitely like started pursuing more of a traditional career path because of that. And I was like, I always loved the art elective classes, and it was awesome, and I was good at it and this and that, but that was not where my focus was at all. It was just like to, be on more of like a career trajectory.
What kind of elective classes did Aragon have over there?
Honestly, I don't really remember. I know I know I just took the art class.
Yeah.
But I don't really remember the other ones.
Totally fair.
Yeah.
Because I was just wondering, like, what our elective program at our high school is like compared to ones over the hill. Because I always feel like we have a kind of unique elective program. I'm only thinking about wood shop.
Yeah, I was gonna
I'm only thinking about wood shop and welding.
Your favorite class?
That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
We have
Small gas.
Small gas
was sick too.
Yeah.
Like we have this insane little workshop at the high school that has a couple different types of classes. You can learn how to weld. There's wood shop. There's, like David was saying, small gas engines where you bring in like a launmower and he just teaches you how to go through the engine and get it running again.
Wow.
It's pretty cool.
That's cool.
And I was like, I feel like that's unique.
I want to take that now.
You should. You should just go do a mural and be like, give me a free class.
Yeah. It is kind of funny because all three of us ended up kind of benefiting from that, working with our hands and in the long run. So it was a class that
that's awesome.
Should be everywhere.
Yeah,
but
absolutely.
It's definitely overlooked.
Yeah, well, I just think the whole creative thing, like you were talking about with your elementary school, the whole creative outlet with working with your hands is kind of overlooked now.
Yeah.
And it was starting when we were younger, but it's just weird. It's like, no, you have to learn the history that the government wants you to know. It's like, when?
All right, buddy.
Sorry.
Conspiracy theorist, Gavin.
No, that's not conspiracy theory. That's what they teach you. Sorry.
No, you're good.
Tangent. Okay. Can you tell us a little bit about your education path? Because it is unique, especially in the sense that you did college in 3 years. Like, that's pretty nuts.
Yeah, so I went to like this small Christian college, like close to LA, and I like hated it. Like I loved it in the sense where there's like the spiritual component, which is how I was grown up and all this stuff, and it was like really like close to who I am. But it was just like it just didn't fit who I was. And you had to go to like chapel 3 times a week. And if you missed like, I know it was horrible. And if you missed like 8 chapels in a semester, you like couldn't graduate. So it was like, oh my gosh. So I took advantage of their study abroad programs because I'm like, okay, like how can I get the most out of this experience? So they had this program where you could like study at Oxford in England, and I applied for that and I got in, and it was super cool because the English school system, they let you design your own classes based on what your major was. So I wanted to study a blend of like psychology and philosophy. So I designed a class that basically studied like what is consciousness. Like basically humans aren't just robots like taking in this sensory info and like putting out an output. We're actually experiencing everything. And like, what is that? Like in psychology and like philosophy, like what is that? And you would meet like one-on-one with a tutor once a week. And it was like really cool. And it would like go as a class like towards your major. And I just liked that because it was creative and interesting, and you could like do your own thing and create your own thing, which I loved. And so I did that for a year, and then I did this other study away program in the backcountry of Yosemite, where like the top professors of the school would come and teach like philosophy and literature and like the humanities basically in like the backcountry of Yosemite, and we like all would study in like these cabins, and it was super cool. And I got more out of that experience than I did at Oxford, honestly. And it was just like really rigorous, but like so fascinating and so cool. And we would actually go on backpacking trips, like weekend backpacking trips with our professors, and we would be talking about these like philosophical concepts like on these trips, and it was like the coolest thing. And that was like I would go do that again. Like I do not regret like spending everything I did at college for that experience, even though I'm not even like using my degree for like what I'm doing now, but just to like have that experience was like so awesome.
And like how many people were part of that like Yosemite backcountry study stuff?
I think it was like a semester thing, and I think it was like maybe like 40 or 50 kids.
Oh,
yeah,
it's
more than I thought.
Smallish.
You were there for a whole semester?
Yeah, I was there for 2 semesters.
Oh wow.
Like,
That's half a year.
yeah. I mean, it was like, and then I loved it so much I like applied again, and I like stayed there. So that's
Nice.
awesome. Yeah.
So I don't know if you can remember, but what were some of the philosophical things that you guys would talk about?
Just like everything. And we would like apply it to our own lives and just like learning about, Kant and Plato and like our professors would ask us like questions like how can you be entitled to like your opinions? Like, for example, like in politics, like how can you be entitled to your opinions if your opinions are like constantly changing like all the time? Like you can be waking up and like have a different opinion about this or like learn something new. Like how can you be entitled to something that you might change like tomorrow? And just like, like topics like that. And, it's just like a range of interesting thought provoking.
That's
topics.
super cool. Yeah. But so how did those types of experiences, being in the back country of Yosemite, going to classes, how did stuff like that shape your art form today?
Yeah, I think it's just like thinking like deeply about things. And I think like in my art, like I love telling a story or just something that could be like healing to people or just something that's like just more like transcendent and more that taps into like an overarching like life theme kind of thing.
Yeah.
Which is what I try to do in like all my murals and stuff. And they're usually historical murals, what I do. But I definitely think like the philosophical, like spiritual background like taps into that for sure.
Definitely. And how at the beginning of your career in art, how are you with the vulnerability part of that? Like putting all of your emotion into this piece of art and then just like basically praying that everybody's going to like it. Because like, I know with this podcast, it's fucking weird.
Yeah.
We're going to have this podcast putting out episodes and it's like people are going to think we're fucking idiots.
Yeah. No, that's like, that's how it is with doing anything.
Yeah.
If you create anything out of nothing, you don't know if someone's going to like it or not. You put your time, effort, investing into something and you're creating it like out of nothing. You're not just like doing a job where you're like in this system that's like pre-created for you. Mm-hmm. And you just like have to believe in yourself and just go for it. Yeah. So it's like the same thing with making the podcast. It's the same thing with making art.
Have you had to deal with any criticism?
Sometimes with usually people are really receptive to my work. Sometimes when I include people or figures in my public murals, sometimes people want a specific type of person represented.
Okay.
Yeah. So sometimes it gets a little dicey when I'm including people in it. And I have run into problems like that before. And that's actually why the Cunha store, there's no faces in those characters, is because it's ambiguous to like who they really are. Like they could be like Mexican, they could be Chinese, they can be Portuguese, they can be like anybody, and so that's why I like have like the hat like covering the woman's face and like the heads are turned and stuff. You're like, you don't know, they could be anyone. You can interpret it however you want.
Bold of you to even assume it's a woman.
Yeah.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, that's like
My bad.
It'd be so funny if somebody just was like, why are you adding so many colors to that wall? Like that wall was great when it was just white.
Yeah, I got that like with the IDS mural too, and I was like painting it, and it was like halfway done, and people would be like, "So are you gonna add any more color to it, or is it just gonna be blue?" I'm like, just like wait. It'll all come together in the end, but it looked kind of weird.
I think maybe you should have a fava bean up there. Yeah. I could do it on Portuguese, okay?
Yeah.
Oh, good. We don't have to cut that one.
Want to get your business in front of a loyal local audience? Between Shifts brings coastside stories to life with real conversations, local legends, and plenty of laughs. Sponsorships include custom ad reads, shout-outs in episodes, and visibility across all our socials, all designed to connect your brand with engaged listeners who support local. Now please email betweenshiftspod@gmail.com for any inquiries. Thank you.
So as someone that says they hated college as much as they did, you finished in 3 years. Did you ever consider just dropping out, or was it always just buckle down and get done?
Yeah, I definitely like thought about like I wanted to just get out, and I like towards the end I would like miss a lot of classes. Like I just like wanted to be done, but I did as many classes as I could at the beginning just so I could like get out in 3 years.
Reload
and like
everything.
I did, and like I took it full advantage of like the programs and everything that they had, and I was just like I just want to like do my own thing, like get me out of here. So
Like there's so much more to life. I want to leave.
Yeah.
And then you've had a bunch of interesting jobs when it comes to like animal training, working at NorCal, scuba diving. Any experiences from those jobs early on that kind of, I don't know, influence your work?
Yeah, I think all of those jobs that I had to do with like the ocean and art. So like NorCal surf shop, like surfing and like scuba diving. And the animal training thing was I was like an intern in San Diego working with like training dolphins and sea lions for the Navy. And yeah, and that was like a really cool experience. I left because they were like, I couldn't deal with like the moral piece of it because the Navy's exempt from the Marine Mammal Protection Act. So they were just like, yeah, it was crazy. Some of the things I saw, I'm like, I can't, I have to leave. But it was like really cool. When I say it, it sounds like really cool. Like I was like animal trainer for the Navy or whatever for a while.
It's also like a dolphin in like a 100-foot square like pool.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So have you seen any of the, I forget what the actual experiment was, but it was with dolphins and it was trying to just have them.
This is drunk history.
Is it drunk history?
Well, no, there's an episode of Drunk History where it's like they're trying to train dolphins and they give them acid.
Oh no, I've seen that, but that's not.
Okay.
No, there was some like maze or something crazy that the dolphin had to solve to get its food. And the dolphin figured it out over a course of like a couple weeks. I don't know if it was fed during the weeks, but
jeez.
Once they gave it the acid,
Probably-
figured it out right away.
probably wasn't fed if it wanted the food that bad to solve the puzzle.
After 2
Now that I'm
weeks,
thinking about it.
after 2 weeks, I'd learn how to swim.
What was some of the? Can you talk about that experience?
Yeah.
Yeah. What was your favorite part about that?
The animal training?
Yeah. Specifically the dolphin stuff.
Yeah. I actually liked working with the sea lions the best because, we would take them out on like boats and they would like go and they would have like these little harnesses on them with like these GPS trackers in case that they swam away. But basically we trained them to find mines underwater.
Whoa.
Yeah. And so we would bring them on the boat and we'd be like, go get the mine. And they would jump off the boat and swim like farther down. And they were like way smarter than any of our technology that can like go under. Cause they're still like adapt for the ocean. And like, it's really hard to make technology that can, survive the pressure and the salt too, and the water and everything.
Dang.
So until the technology catches up, we would just like train these sea lions to do this, and they would go find mines and then, basically put like a GPS tracker on the mine, and then we would like go down and like retrieve the mines.
They would.
Damn.
That's insane.
That was like
Flipper
cool.
slapping the tracker on.
Place it.
Yeah, high five.
Was it after graduation you got that job?
I did. Yeah.
Was that like your first job out of college?
That was.
That's crazy.
My first job.
Were they
cool?
Yeah.
Were they doing any work with orcas?
No, they did do stuff with beluga whales, but then they canceled that program. I don't know what it was, but that was before I got there. They had like some beluga program thing going on, and then now it's just dolphins and sea lions.
I feel like they gotta be working with the orcas.
They gotta be somewhere.
They're the ones teaching the
More
orcas to sink the boats, dude.
Was there any like issues when I want to know? Did they ever like set off the mines? Like, were they,
No, yeah, I have so many
like-
questions about this running through my head right now,
like-
and I can't even pinpoint one.
was it like a suicide mission for these sea lions that were going down and like setting these trackers on the mines? I don't know.
Oh yeah, fuck! If it was a real mine, they would have just been exploded.
No,
Okay.
they would have some sort of device that I don't know how it works exactly, but they would have some sort of device that would like clamp onto it that had like the tracker on it, and
Okay.
Yeah,
Save the sea lions.
sea lions. Yeah. So now the sea lions are not the average seal. These are the big ones, right? With like the big forehead.
You're thinking
No,
elephant
these are the
seals.
females.
That's what I'm thinking of.
these are like the female sea lions that are smaller.
Someone
Oh,
pulled
They
a
can like
picture of
fit in like
sea
a
lion.
cage, and we can bring them on the boat, and they're way easier to train than the males.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Gotcha. I'm following. This is a really cool
I
job.
It's like SeaWorld times 100.
Exactly. It was like bad though. And I remember because we had like these above ground water pen things. They were super small though. But it was visible from this bridge that people would drive over. And I remember there was this guy every day he would be there just like with a camera, like recording us. And I think he was trying to make the next like Blackfish documentary.
Yeah.
So yeah,
Is this
it was just like so much messed up stuff that would go down there.
Camp Pendleton?
Um,
All right, maybe you can't say. That's
Oh.
okay. Yeah. Sorry. I knew there was a limit to this conversation.
Could you pet could you pet them, like, or was it like a service animal where it's like, don't touch me? You know, like the people that walk around in the restaurants and they're like, I'm working.
yeah, like don't touch this.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I don't think, no, it was like, you can't just like go around and like, just like, hey,
not
like
like a-
pet them and whatever. But like, if you're working with them and training them and like giving them fish or whatever, you can like pet them, but you can't just like have like, just walk by and like,
I'm going to lay with you. in
yeah,
this
I don't know.
cage.
It was just,
Not my kind of job then.
Have you, no, we're not going to get into that. It's totally off topic. My brain was elsewhere. I'm sorry. Losing your graphic design job during COVID led you to pursue art full time, which ended up being a turning point. What was that moment like?
yeah, so throughout all those like weird jobs that I did, you know, I would always be creating and selling art on the side. Like no matter what I do, is like dolphin training or like working at NorCal Surf Shop or like wherever, I would always be creating this like art. And then I eventually got into like this graphic design job and I was like, oh, like this is exactly what I'm going to do. You know, it's graphic design. That's professional. That's art. That's creative. And it wasn't really creative at all. It was just kind of like, I didn't like working there. But when I lost my job during COVID, I was like really devastated because I was like, I thought that I had it made. And I was like, okay, well, what am I going to do during this time where I'm just like by myself, like in the house, like alone all the time? I'm going to try and pursue this art thing that I've always loved. And I've always like kind of in the back of my head, like, oh, maybe it could like take off one day or like become a thing, you know? And I was like, I think this is like the time to do it. And it just took off from there. I got, during COVID, I got like my first paid mural commission on someone's home. I got a really cool opportunity working for this really big named artist out of Oakland. I was like her assistant painter and I shared a studio with her and she's done like huge collaborations. She like made like Steph Curry's shoes and she designed the city edition for the Golden State Warriors in like 2022. And she's worked with Nike and Adobe and she just got like a commission with McLaren, like the cars and super like top notch artist. And I think that really inspired me and really helped me like learn a lot more about like the art world and like the business behind like doing art and she does murals too, so I learned a lot about like how to like scale a mural up and everything. And that was like a huge turning point for me. I'm so glad that I lost my job because if I didn't, then it would have never happened. Yeah.
Do you still talk to her today?
Yeah. Then we hang out every once in a while. So, she just moved into a new studio, huge, beautiful new studio. And she's like, come on by. And so I have to like go out and say hi. It's in Oakland though, so I haven't. Yeah.
Dang it.
So, tell us about how you met your husband.
Yeah, so I actually met surfing Lindemar like 10 years ago. We just got married like a year ago.
Okay.
So,
Congrats.
yeah, thank you.
Very co-side story.
I know, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. We met surfing and he was surfing with his friend at the time and his friend yelled at me. He's like, hey, my friend wants to know how old you are. And I was like 20 at the time. And then Ryan and I would like talk or whatever. He's like, oh, you can take this wave, like go for it. And then he eventually like walked me to my car and just got my number. And then the rest is history. So,
Nice.
yeah.
Awesome. Very
Nice.
cute.
And we were talking about it before the show, but your husband Ryan he has been mentioned amongst us like quite a bit weirdly because of he's the 805 rep, and David was talking about how he offered to give us beer when we first started, I think, for the podcast or something like that. And then, well, I don't even know if I can talk about the next part actually yet.
I don't know.
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
Cut it out.
And
but
you
he's
guys
been
are-
mentioned a lot.
And you guys are listeners of the podcast.
Yeah.
Really appreciate that.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah. We just took a road trip all the way to Canada and we were listening to your podcast all the way up.
And actually,
Awesome.
by the time I'm not
fan.
gonna say what his new title is because it's not out yet, obviously, but maybe it will be in February. So we should be in the clear, but I'm not gonna say it.
Okay.
It's super cool. It's exciting.
It's exciting. Speaking of exciting, you have to work at heights a lot of the time. Are you afraid of heights?
Yeah, sometimes when I'm like in these like lifts and when I'm starting a project, I'm like scared. I'm really scared, and I'm like looking down, like, oh my god, I forgot this feeling, like, because it takes like a while to like start a project, so I have like big gaps in between these big projects, and I have to go on a lift again. I'm looking down, I'm like, oh my god, okay, you just gotta get used to it. You've done this before, you can do it again. So initially, I am scared, but then you just like get used to the feeling. Like, yeah, whatever. I'll like.
You're in a harness, right?
Yeah, usually.
Usually.
I didn't even think about that too. It probably takes a while to get from like ground level up to like towards the top of a mural. Are you ever like, oh shoot, I left the blender on? Like, it's like I left something down there.
All the time. I'm like, crap, like I need that color. I left it on the ground. I have to go back down, get it. And yeah, I mean, just like, I just got to make sure I'm taking care of myself and drinking water and staying hydrated, not making stupid mistakes like that. Oh my gosh.
Do you rent a scissor lift?
Yeah, or boom lift usually.
Or a boom lift?
Yeah.
Nice. And what do you do? Like, how is the rental process when you go to return it? Do you have a bunch of paint over it?
Yeah.
What do they say?
Usually they don't say anything because they deal with like.
Yeah, they don't.
So I've gotten lifts out of like cement all over them and just like all sorts of crap and like crud and stuff. So I think they're just used to it.
Yeah, they have to have some sort of cleaning process because when I was doing spray foam insulation for my cousin, shout out PJ Insulation, but we were doing it and he would take the day to spray the insulation and it would just drip all over the lift. And I was like, I don't know how you're going to get past with this. And then luckily with that stuff, you can just kind of scrape it off, but there were still stains on it and they never said anything that I know of.
Yeah. That's right.
Plus those things are so sketchy when you're up like 30 to 40 feet and you try to move it a little bit that way. You're like,
yeah. I know. Oh my gosh. Like for the Cunha store. So the city let me borrow their lift and it's like old and kind of like janky a little bit. And every time I would try to move forward, it like go back a couple inches and then go forward. Sometimes I would be really close to the wall and I would be in like in a tight space and I would need to leave. And it was just like scary. But I appreciate them for letting me use their lift because that was,
Didn't have to rent it. Yeah.
Oh, Cunha had their own lift.
Well,
the city had their lift. It was a city
Yeah.
project and
That's cool.
Our taxes paid for that one.
Well, speaking of that.
All right, so everybody loves a mural at Cunha's. How did that come about? Like, how did you get the gig? And I mean, I want to say that was one of your first murals, like first big commission murals. So like, what did that mean to you to get that?
Yeah, that was one of my first big murals where I was operating a lift. That was my first one where I would operate a boom lift like that. And how I got that was the city of Half Moon Bay posted a public application to apply for this big mural project. And anybody could apply. And I think like people from like out of state applied to it too. And basically how that process works when the city posts anything like this, it could be for a sculpture or mural or anything, is that you apply to it like how you would for a normal job. You would submit your resume and your portfolio and just your cover letter of why you'd be good for the project, whatever. And then they would narrow the applicants down to, I think for the Cunha store, it was 4 artists. Maybe it was 4. And then from there, the 4 artists would create a design and submit it and present it in front of the council. And then they picked the one that they liked, and it was like an anonymous choice, and they picked mine. So that's how that came about. And that was like a huge project that really like launched my career from there. And I worked really hard on that. I'm really grateful that I got that commission.
Yeah. I mean, I remember, previous to knowing you, working here, I ride a bike downtown to grab lunch quite often, and I would see you working on it. And it's like every time I rode by and saw it, I was like, that's going to be pretty damn cool.
Yeah.
And then seeing the finished thing. Yeah. Awesome.
That mural, that project, I was like booking it to like sun up, sundown every single day because I was on this crazy contract with the city. And they said, if you do not get this done by the Pumpkin Festival, and they gave me like 6 weeks to get it done.
Yeah.
If you not get this done by the Pumpkin Festival, then you have to give us all the money back that we gave you.
Wow.
So I was like okay, I do not want that to happen. And I already like invested so much money in the project already. And I was like, oh my gosh, I'm freaking out. And it was like my first big one. And I like lost a lot of sleep over it. And it was like first time like operating this big boom lift. I didn't really like know how to like do it right away and everything. I was like so scared, but I got it done. And I was there like, every single day, and actually got it done in like 4 weeks because I was so like pushing myself like so much just to like make sure I met the deadline. So
what year was that?
That was 2022.
Okay, that would make sense because I remember I was like, last time I'd seen it, there was nothing, and then I came home from Pumpkin Festival and I had like a heat on going downtown, and I remember seeing it. I was like, wow,
that happened.
Where's that?
Yeah.
I was like, where's the bonito?
Like looking around, you're like, this is new.
It's changed.
Yeah.
No, it looks awesome.
It is awesome.
Thanks.
Well, and your murals have had so much more of an effect than just being a mural. When did you realize that, like, especially like the IDS one has really brought, like, I feel a culture for the Portuguese people to like have a younger audience actually be interested in that area? When did you kind of realize that your murals were more than just murals?
Yeah, I think just like that Cunha store one really like set it off of like kind of define me and like what I do as like a mural artist. And I create like a story and I try to like bring in history and like make it really specific for the area that it's on and the wall that it's on and the people that are around that mural. And so like, for example, like the IDS one was super cool to work with because that culture is so interesting and it has such a cool story with like the famine and the doves and like the queen's crown, and there's so much cool content to like draw from. And that one is all in that monochromatic blue color because I wanted it to represent like that traditional classic Portuguese tile pattern that you see on like a lot of like the ceramics that they have. And there's a lot of murals in Portugal that are made out of like these blue tiles, and they're those like huge, like beautiful pieces that are in that like monochromatic blue, but they're made out of tiles. And I was like super inspired, just like looking up and doing research on like these Portuguese murals. And I was like, I want to do one like that, but make it like more of like a Half Moon Bay thing and like represent like, and I put like a little whaling ship in there to like represent like the migration from the Azores Islands to Half Moon Bay, which is how they settled here. So there's just like a lot of meaning and story behind that one.
And that building was boring before.
It was.
Yeah.
It's also a pretty ugly color. Like it's nice to see them paint it, give it a new paint job.
Yes.
Yeah.
And then it's also nice because like it's a mural and I feel like it could get really flashy, and you made it to where it's not like very flashy, which also I don't think, especially the IDS in town, isn't all about flash.
Yeah.
And you did a really good job of incorporating like your own, like the blue is the flash, and that's cool. That's really cool. And it fits really well because it's like, it's very professional.
Yeah.
It's cool.
I feel like you almost did a better job than you even might know. Like it's really cool.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Do you ever hide any little Easter eggs in any of your murals that like try to get no one to notice?
I mean, like I sometimes do. I feel like, the Easter egg I would say like that everyone might like see is like in the Cunha store one, like in the back of the truck and like the rear view mirror, there's like a little, like you see the reflection of like the pumpkin in the mirror. That's like really the only, I don't know. I guess don't really have like very many cool Easter eggs.
Yeah. That's cool.
Yeah.
I've never noticed. So yeah, I'll have to go check that out.
Well, I was talking in our interview with Mark, like if you look at his artwork, like there's always another, not always, but there's typically another little character hidden in each one. That's just kind of like a little Easter egg that he throws in there.
You kind of have to look.
That's cool. He said that, and I was like,
hidden something.
That's right.
Just a little something for the people.
I
Yeah,
have to listen to that episode. Is it out?
comes out next Friday.
Oh,
so by
nice.
this point, it's out. But yeah,
Cool.
well, more on the business side of what you do. What does it look like when you bid for a mural project? What are you taking into account? Like everything, like from the lift to the amount of paint to the brush. Like, how do you go about even bidding on a mural project?
Yeah, so I just do my best to like apply to what the mural is trying to get at. So usually it's like for a celebration of some sort. Like for the Cunha store, it was 50th anniversary of the Pumpkin Festival. They wanted to represent like the history, culture of Half Moon Bay with like an emphasis on the Pumpkin Festival. for the Colma mural, it was to celebrate the 100-year anniversary of Colma. They were established in 1924. In 2024, they wanted like this huge centennial project. And they usually have a budget for these projects, like to start out. And so I just like apply to like my best ability. Like, I think this project really interests me because of this and that. And, you know, and I do a lot of research, like if I am like into the next round of artists and I create a design, I like for the Colma one, you know, Colma's like 90% cemeteries. Mm-hmm. So I would go into like every single like mausoleum, and I got really inspired by like the artwork and the stained glass and like the stone angels and the sculptures and everything there. And there's like a lot of that incorporated in their mural. And the history is interesting too. And it starts out like a timeline with like the Ohlone natives and then the farming. And then, it just goes on like a timeline. It's cool.
Yeah. And to relate to some people listening, that like obviously people know in town the Cunha store mural, they know the IDES mural, but also you have the side of the jetty ramp that you painted.
Yeah, that was my first mural.
Oh, was it really?
Yeah.
Nice. And was that just out of kindness, like you just kind of did it for fun? Or
yeah.
Yeah. And then you also have the Mr. Morgan mural in the back of OPL.
Oh yeah.
That one's killer.
Thank you.
I know Fitzy's really stoked on that too.
The water droplets and everything are crazy on that.
I love that one.
It's really good.
Yeah.
And what was it? It was like, I was looking at your Instagram, but was it 4 separate walls that mural takes over?
The Mr. Morgan?
Yeah.
Yeah. It's like.
Well, it goes around the whole container.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's like 4. It goes like around like 3 sides of the container, and then there's like another wall on the building. So it's like 1, 2, like a long 3, and then like a little 4.
So when you're in the creative process with that and planning wise, do you show up and when they're telling you where they want this mural, do you take a picture of the spot and then you go home and kind of like print it out and draw on it there? Or like how do you go about even mapping it out?
Yeah. So yes. So I take a picture, and that's where like my graphic design skill like really, really helps me create like a mock-up for them. So I'll just like sketch something out just so they can get like an idea of what's going to go on the wall. And it'll like vary a little bit, obviously, from like the digital rendering to like the hand painted thing. There's something called like the painter's hand. Mm-hmm. And so sometimes people get like really stuck on like, it doesn't look exactly like here, the mock-up. Yeah. So yeah, that's how I go about it.
Yeah.
Nice.
Well, scaling things up has to be pretty hard too. Has there ever been a time where you looked at something and like the scale of it didn't even seem like it was going to be possible?
There was one mural that was like really challenging in Placerville. It was huge. It's like bigger than the Cunha store. Beautiful mural. It's one of my favorite ones I've ever done. It was on this corrugated metal surface. So it was, all the lines were warped. So I couldn't do a straight line, and it would just like turn out wavy. And I had like these faces in the design and these hands. So all like the facial features was so hard to get it how I wanted it to. 'Cause like the facial expression and like the mouth would like look all droopy or like weird. And it was just like the corrugation would just like mess with the face a little bit. So I think that was like my most challenging one to really like scale it in a way. But usually it's not really the size. It's more of just like the accessibility to the wall and just the shape of the canvas and the surface of the canvas, like on corrugation. And that one was actually, I had to do that one in 100% spray paint because the brush was just like not working with the corrugation. I was like, all right, I have to do this all in spray paint. It ended up being like probably my favorite mural.
That's cool.
I've ever done.
Yeah.
So.
Placerville, you said, right?
Yeah.
That's pretty cool.
And
that's way up there.
Yeah.
And with the spray paint, is that something that you had spent much time doing beforehand?
Not really like on the streets, if that's what you're getting.
Did you
tag? But I don't know. I feel like, I don't know, you don't strike me as somebody who would be normally spray painting a lot.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't know. It's cool to see you like take a medium like that.
Yeah, no, it's cool. I've always loved just like airbrush artwork, and spray painting's like the same thing, but like in a bigger scale. And I would always try to practice with spray paint, like in any situation I could. If it was just like the background, if it's a solid color, okay, spray paint, spray paint, spray paint. And I would always want to get better at it. And I'd practice on like the walls of my studio and just like and backgrounds and like the Cunha store, like what the Cunha store has like spray paint mixed in too. And yeah, I just like love the medium and working with the artist in Oakland. She's like a really talented spray paint artist as well. And I learned a lot from her. And yeah, that's just kind of how it started.
Yeah. Well, I've seen you do work with power lines, and you've done a logo for NorCal too, right?
Oh yeah, I did. I did do a sweatshirt design.
Sean, when we had Sean on, he was telling us about, or talking to us about you and a design that you made for him. I'm pretty sure. But yeah, can you tell us a bit how those opportunities with Kurt and power lines and Sean and NorCal came about? Like, how did you get connected with them?
Yeah, I don't really know exactly how I got connected. I think it's just like through the community, and we got to know each other through surfing. And obviously like I got to know Sean because I like worked there. And I really wanted to like get into doing more artwork and stuff and graphic design. And I was like, I would talk to Maya and be like, hey, can I like design like a sweatshirt? He's like, yeah, go for it. I mean, he was like, just like show me first. Like we might not print it. But show me first, and then I'd show him. He's like, oh, okay, cool, yeah, we'll do like a run of that. And then they did a run, and then it like sold, but I don't think they ever like printed it again. And then with Kurt, I think he just like texted me randomly, and he was just like, hey, like, would you be interested in doing? Or I think I tweaked to the power lines, like the actual P that Kevin Ansell did. I think I made that. Yeah, that.
This guy.
That. Into like a vector file, so he can like scale it as large as he want or make it as small as he want without losing the resolution.
Nice.
And then he wanted me to do like that little sweatshirt design with like the wave and like
yeah. Super cool.
Yeah. Kind of off topic, but I also saw on your Instagram that you worked with like a motorcycle spraying like paint huffer metal flake.
Yeah.
Which was pretty cool because I had a bike that was like also red that was all paint huffer metal flake. What did you like do? Was it like a one-time thing where you just were like trying something out?
Yeah, I was kind of like really, really inspired by like those paints and like the metal flake and the gold flake and just like the reflected in the sun and like the clear coat and everything. And I really wanted to paint a motorcycle. And so I bought a motorcycle just so I could paint it. And I don't ride motorcycles. So I just took up like the tank and the fender and I like sanded it all down and I primed it. And it was like a lot of work actually that goes into it. And then, I did like my design and I put gold leaf in it and I sprayed it with like all these cool like metal flaky colors and clear coated it, and it turned out like really good actually. Like I was like surprised because I didn't have like a spray gun or anything. I got everything in like cans, like spray paint cans, and it worked out. And my husband just like rides the motorcycle.
I was gonna say, do you still have it?
Yeah, so, I still have it. He has
cool.
it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And what kind of motorcycle is it?
It's like a Sportster. I think it's like 86 or something like that.
Oh, that's really cool. He's just ripping wheelies up the street.
Oh, yeah. On his way to work. He drives it to work every day.
Oh, well,
that's pretty cool.
Yeah.
That's so cool.
A one of one.
Yeah, that's so cool. Well, now you have your own shop on Main Street. What work do you do out of that shop, and just how excited were you when you finally got to open it up?
Yeah, that's like such like a game changer for me, just to like be more like in the public eye, because everyone knows I do murals, but no one knows I do canvas work and logos and poster designs and like all this other stuff. And so I'm just right across from Italia on Mill Street, 707 Mill Street. And I'm in there all the time, just like working on stuff. Yeah, like canvases or like a commission for a client or just like a mural design or whatever. So it's like a gallery and like my studio and workspace, and just like people just like come in all the time, and it's great. And I love having like an open door policy. I'm more of like an extroverted person versus like an introverted art person that's just like alone creating art all day. I like being around people, and it's just been great. I moved in earlier this year, so I just need to get some signs in the windows. People know I'm there.
And what's your overall vision with that space? How do you want it to grow and just evolve?
Yeah, I think just like wanting to do cool events and having like it for the community, and like more of like an open door, like come in, hang out, look at some artwork, like just chat or whatever. And yeah, and just do like art shows. And like this weekend we did for the pumpkin festival, I did face painting for the kids, and we had like these Christmas trees out on the sidewalk that these kids would decorate these wooden pumpkins for free and like put it on the Christmas tree, and I was doing face painting for free, and I was just like wanted it more of like an outreach thing of like people to like come in and just feel comfortable in this space and having it like open door, like art based place, and I just want to keep doing stuff like that and keep expanding.
Well, and that's in the heart of downtown for Pumpkin Fest, so that must have been
it
was
absolutely crazy.
Yeah. I didn't even like have time to go to the bathroom or anything. Take a bite to eat.
Also, congrats. I saw your Instagram story. You sold your, what was it, first canvas or most expensive canvas or something like that. I'm sorry.
The cowgirl.
Yeah. It was, your most successful one.
Yes.
Yeah. Nice. That's awesome.
Walking into the shop, it's like an art exhibit.
Yeah.
It's really cool. It's, if you guys haven't been in there yet.
I haven't been in there.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah. And get your sweatshirts.
Yeah.
Oh, is that where you went to get it?
Yeah.
Okay, so you have clothing and...
Yeah, so I just like printed a run of sweatshirts and like prints and stuff, and like smaller things are in there too. So
how was that for you with clothing? Like, do you feel like you're giving most of it away to friends and family?
a lot.
Yeah.
That's the tough thing with merch.
Yeah, it's
Where it's like, oh yeah, we're gonna spend $2,500 on merch, and probably about $700 of that is just
gone.
Buddy, we've made zero.
Yeah.
We just only giving away these shirts.
Yeah. I just think of it more as like a marketing thing. Like you just like you're gonna wear it and it'll all work out.
It'll come
you're walking
back
around.
around.
With my name on it. Like it'll come around.
I got mine last week. I've watched it 3 times already.
Nice.
Yeah.
Now, did you ever have like, I don't know if this is a bad way to put it, like phase as an artist of like your canvases and stuff being in like coffee shops and that sort of stuff?
Yeah, I definitely went through like so many phases. I mean, you got to start somewhere, right? And you got to start small. And I didn't do any like coffee shops per se, but I would just do like the Instagram thing. And I think that was like my main way of like getting my work out there was like through social media and like posting it. And I would do like really, really small, like bad art shows. I would just have like my art in there and like no one would show up or anything, kind of thing. But I mean, like whatever, like you got to like do what you can and grow.
And what hours is your studio open downtown?
I am in there like all the time, inconsistent hours, just given like the projects that I might be working on. I might be working on a mural or something, but I like live there. I'm in there all the time. I'm there I usually get there in there like around like 10ish, but I'm then there from like 10 to like 8 usually.
But you don't have like set hours.
I don't have set hours.
Okay. Yeah.
If I had set hours, I wouldn't be in there sometimes. So.
That'd be very artistic. That's like the artistic way of going about it.
Yeah.
I'm in there when I'm there. Yeah.
Consistently inconsistent.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Well, I'm kind of curious of how long it takes from the beginning of the process. Like the Colma mural is it's like 180 feet long or something like that. So like
huge.
From the time that you first figured out like I want to do this, apply to the last brushstroke and photos and press release, like how long does it take to like do a full mural?
That one was like full time from when I applied to when it last brushstroke is like a year. So I would like apply, get it, and then it varies from project to project. Sometimes you're like, oh, this project isn't going to start until like 2 years from now or something like that. So, but for that one was like pretty like quick moving. But yeah, that was such a challenging mural just because it was on this busy street and you had to block off the road for traffic and and it was just 180 feet long. It like took up like an entire block. Yeah. And the lift situation was gnarly. I had to like park the lift on like this super steep hill to get like this off-road lift. And it would be on this steep hill, like around this corner, and talk about like being afraid of heights. It was like a wind tunnel there. So I'd be like up on the lift and the thing would be like rocking and I'm on this like steep, like angled like hillside and I'm just like, so
that was pretty crazy too, because you could walk for like 2 minutes and see your mural the entire time. Like it's long. Like the Instagram video, the drone shot's pretty crazy of like, it's a long video of like going from, which is like timeline from beginning to end, left to right, which is really cool.
Yeah.
Well, getting into the more of the future of your career, but if you could design a dream project with little to no budget, what would it be and where would it live?
Yeah, that's a really good question. And I think that like any dream project would be like maybe a large scale mural, but not on like a building, but something else that's like big and cool. Like I've always imagined like a bridge or something, or like even crazier, like a castle would be really cool. I painted a castle, or like a rocket ship that would like go to space. I don't know. These are just some crazy ideas that I think would be cool to just paint large scale. That's not, it's like a mural, but it's not a stereotypical mural on a building, but something like large and cool and creative and exciting and, you know, unique. So
maybe Bikeworks HMB wants a mural or something.
Have you ever done one that's not vertical? Like, have you done something that's like flat ground?
Oh, I've never done
like,
a flat ground, but I heard that those are like backbreaking.
I bet.
Yeah.
I can totally see that.
Oh, hunched over
Just
all
hang
day.
upside,
Yeah,
get a
I know,
lift,
right?
but tie your feet lift and
dangle.
What's what people at the bridge? Yeah, you're just in a harness, like
hanging upside down.
Tom cruising the whole time.
Like those things that stretch out your back where you turn upside down, but you're just painting. It's kind of cool.
Now, when you look ahead, what kind of projects or themes are inspiring you right now, and what are you kind of looking forward to in the future?
Yeah, so in the near future, I've been working with one of the Half Moon Bay council members, Patrick Johnson, on 2 very Half Moon Bay themed murals. And one would be on just as you come over 92 and you go into Half Moon Bay, you have like the Oddfellows Cemetery, and there's like a wall right there. We're thinking of doing some sort of Main Street, like historical Main Street mural that's kind of like directs people to like take that left and go down Main Street. And then doing another mural on the back of the Rite Aid building, that huge empty space.
Yeah.
And so I've been trying to find the building owner for this and the contact information for the building owner just to get permission. I figured out the funding. I just need the permission from the building owner to like get the permission to paint the back of the Rite Aid building. But it would be so cool to have like this welcome to Half Moon Bay right as people come in from 92, and have like 2 sister murals, like one on the back of the Oddfellows Cemetery right as you come in from 92, and then another one that matches right behind it on the Rite Aid building. And I think that cities, I've seen cities that have like, you know, like Welcome to Pacifica or like San Diego, whatever, but I've never seen like 2 sister murals that represent like the city that you're entering in. Yeah. So that'd be pretty cool.
I'll reach out to my Uncle Jimmy because we do the landscaping maintenance for that whole shopping center. So he has to somehow be in contact with them. Yeah.
Let me know. I've been trying to track this person down.
Yeah. I'll see if he knows anything, but it might be the same. You know, it might be somebody that owns it and then has all these like.
Yeah, probably.
Below. But either way, it still gets up the chain somehow.
Yeah.
Yeah. Cool. Can you tell the people where to find you?
Yeah. 707 Mill Street.
There you go.
Half Moon Bay. Yeah, right across from It's Italia. Yeah. Just opened, just moved in. I don't have signs in the windows yet, but they're coming in a couple weeks, hopefully.
And Instagram or social?
Yeah. Art by Jewel, JUL _ Instagram, and then artbyjewel.com. And then my email is julie@artbyjewel.com.
Awesome.
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you for taking time out of your day to come.
Absolutely. Thanks for having me on the podcast.
And thanks for listening to the podcast.
Yeah.
Yeah, seriously. Yeah, sometimes it feels like we're talking to nobody, but at least we know we're talking to Ryan. Yeah. All right.
Thanks for coming.
Yeah, cool.
Thank you.
All right. Welcome back. This is the recap for Julie Engelmann. Yeah, she's done just so many really cool murals from here to Colma to Placerville, and hopefully that list just keeps growing. And I'm sure she's done more.
We didn't talk about it at all, but the Daly City, she did the firefight, like the fire trucks for them and everything. And like I think that she did the crest for Colma's like actual city crest.
Wow.
Yeah,
That's
she's done
super cool.
So many things that we couldn't just get into all of them, honestly.
Half Moon Bay can really utilize her to make this town so much cooler. Like the sign south of town by the fire station, she could do something super cool over there.
Yeah. And there's just so many opportunities where it's like seeing something that's just pretty when you're driving through town. And even when I like ride my bike to lunch going down Kelly and I see Cunha's, it's like, it's just so much better than blank wall.
Yeah.
You know, it is really cool.
It's cool. It kind of gives you like a sense of pride too. And you see it, you're like, that's my town.
It's also super cool how she works with companies to do logos. Like, I don't know. I feel like if you're doing murals, logos are kind of out of your realm, but she seems to have that. She has a wide scope.
She's got everything dialed.
Yeah. Super cool.
Apparently she was a huge graffiti artist with that spray paint background.
Her tag was Young Jewel.
Find her tag. Yeah. It'd be cool if she started dropping some more Easter eggs in those murals too. I got to go look at that one.
Yeah, that'd be super cool.
Rear view of the truck. That was cool.
Yeah, for sure.
I never noticed, honestly, on the Cunha mural that you can't see the faces. I always just, for some reason, my brain always processed it as I could see the face.
You could see the face.
But it is
my own perception, I guess.
Talking to her about her process, it is insanely cool. I mean, it is how you get the job, but like the amount of research that she puts in and like the background that she does to come up with the ideas that she does, like with the talking about the IDES, talking about how like the blue with the Portuguese tile. Yeah. Insanely cool how she incorporates that. And then with Half Moon Bay, just kind of reaching back into the history, and she takes that approach instead of, I feel like some artists will just be like, you got to imagine that so many of the submissions for the like Cunha's mural was probably just like, I'm gonna do a big pumpkin. You know,
yeah. Plus, I obviously in Half Moon Bay, her living locally, I'm sure has a big pull for her application. Yeah, but don't let that take away from the fact that she's insanely talented. Yeah. Like those murals are really, really insane.
She could have lived in Canada and gotten those jobs, I think.
Yeah. And I think like the whole IDES mural, I know from most people that I've talked to that have, I don't know, Portuguese lineage. Involvement, yes. Everybody's stoked on that mural. Yeah. Because like I was trying to, I don't know if I did a good job phrasing it to her, but like the Portuguese people aren't necessarily flashy. Like especially at the IDES, you don't want like a lot of rainbow colors, I guess. Or like anything crazy just out of the norm. So she did a really good job using contrast and just having the blue with the white with the black, whatever it may be on that mural to really just have like as flashy as the IDS wants to be and as cool as they want to be all on one wall.
It's very like traditional though. Yeah. Like when you think of like Portuguese art, that's exactly what you would think of. Like she really nailed it there. And it's cool that it probably, I feel like it's going to make the younger generation of Portuguese kids that are in town, because we have such a huge Portuguese population that probably don't spend a whole lot of time at the IDES. It's probably going to make it a more popular place.
For sure. Yeah.
And I'm also just like excited to like knowing her studios downtown. I'm excited to go in there. Like I'll go grab lunch sometime this week and probably just stop by there. Yeah. Because I'm really interested in just seeing what her art is, not like the commission art where she's pushed in a certain direction. Because I've seen some of it, but really interested to see what her art is.
Yeah, the canvas that she recently sold of the cowgirl, which she said was her most successful piece of art so far, that she's like her art, like you're saying. Yeah. It was super cool. You should check it out on her Instagram, Art by Jewel. But
I would have bought it if I knew it was for sale.
It was in there last week.
There was no for sale tag. I don't think, but no, it's awesome. Yeah, no, it's really, cool. It was really, really cool. It's definitely something that you would hang on the wall of your house and be like, wow, that's something that you look at every time you walk by.
Yeah, well, she's a very talented artist, and we look forward to seeing what she does in the future, and hopefully she has more projects with the city of Half Moon Bay to really liven this place up. So.
It'd be cool if she got something in the harbor that she could actually do like sea lions and seals.
Yeah, that'd
just like her
cool.
past.
Also, that whole thing of the job she had trading animals was insane. I had so many questions that I just could not bring words to.
Where it's so funny, like how like your mind kind of immediately goes conspiracy when you think about like the military training sea lions and dolphins. Like it's so
what? They
it's
giving
so
them
funny.
machine guns?
But it's also like I completely understand her, how like very early into talking about that, how she was like, the morals of a job like that.
Which is ultimately why she left.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
But yeah, a crazy first job out of college.
Crazy. Yeah.
I just keep thinking that, like, have you seen the service dogs that say, like, or like the police dogs that are smelling for drugs and it's like, don't pet me, I'm working?
Yeah.
I just imagine they put those on like the sea lions stuff. Like, I would really just want to be in there petting these sea lions.
Yeah. Be kind of cool to have a sea lion that wouldn't bite.
Yeah. All right.
That's Julie Engelman. Hope you guys enjoyed the episode. Once again, we're the Between Shifts podcast team. I'm Gavin.
I'm David.
I'm Ian.
Signing off.
See you
later.
next time.
Hope you guys enjoyed this episode. Once again, we're brought to you by BikeWorks HMB, your one-stop shop for bike service, sales, and rentals in Half Moon Bay, California. Whether you're on the mountain, road, or low on battery, BikeWorks HMB has your back. If you enjoyed this episode and would like to help support this podcast, please feel free to reach out to us at betweenshiftspod@gmail.com. The link will be in the description. I hope you guys have a wonderful day. GT signing off.